Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the most raw question in personal finance and freedom, which is, does fuck you money still even exist? So I'll be reacting to two different clips that tackle the exact same idea. The first clip, we have John Goodman in The Gambler giving his perspective of fuck you money. The second clip is Andrew Tate stating that fuck you money isn't enough. So this has me wondering, in today's world, with governments and big corporations constantly stepping in and intervening, does that level of true financial independence even still exist for regular people? Actually, I'm going to show you two real world examples where everyday folks found ways to stack serious money only for the system to slam the door shut. So stick around. Definitely this one gets interesting. And let's jump into those clips.
You get up $2.5 million. Any asshole in the world knows what to do. You get a house with a 25-year roof, an indestructible Jap economy shitbox. You put the rest into the system at 3 to 5% to pay your taxes, and that's your base. Get me? That's your fortress of fucking solitude. That puts you for the rest of your life at a level of fuck you. Somebody wants you to do something? Fuck you. Boss pisses you off? Fuck you. Own your house. Have a couple bucks in the bank. Don't drink. That's all I have to say to anybody at any social level. Did your grandfather take risks?
Yes.
I guarantee he did it from a position of fuck you. A wise man's life is based around fuck you. The United States of America is based on fuck you. You're a king? You have an army? Greatest navy in the history of the world? Fuck you, blow me. We'll fuck it up ourselves, which we have done. Beautiful fuck you position, lost forever.
Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. So definitely very good scene. Probably the best and my favorite scene from the entire movie of The Gambler. So let me just give you a little context of what's going on in this scene, and then I'll break down exactly what John Goodman is saying and if there's any truth to it. Is it still a reality in 2026? So John Goodman is playing a loan shark slash mentor, and Mark came to Goodman for a loan because he once had $2.5 million but lost it. And that's when Goodman responds by explaining what someone should do with that kind of money, and they should never be broke or controlled again. So just to give you a little bit of context there. So let's break down exactly what John Goodman was saying here. So he says you get up $2.5 million. Any asshole in the world should know what to do. Get a house with a 25-year roof, an indestructible Jap economy shitbox. You put the rest into the system at 3 to 5% and to pay your taxes, and that's your base. That's your base. After doing research and also a little bit of observation and living life, I have to say that this is incredibly true. I agree with this 100%. I still think this has merit, especially in this tough economy that we live in right now in America. But definitely this is true. So let me just break it down a little bit further. So the $2.5 million is treated as the target. You spend the chunk on a solid low maintenance house, right? That's basically what he's saying. Own a house. And then you buy a cheap, reliable car. And that's when Goodman says a Jap economy shitbox. So what he's referring to is Honda, Toyota, Subaru. These are highly reliable cars, right? These are automobiles that last up to 300,000 or even 500,000 miles, and also low maintenance, right? So these are very highly reliable automobiles. Very true. This is 100% fact. So I do agree with this. Then also what he's basically saying too is invest the rest conservatively to 3 to 5% return, so the interest covers your taxes and basic living. That's it. No fancy lifestyle required. Definitely true. I agree with this 100%. That simple. That being said, is this enough? Are you secure? What if you set something to the wrong people and someone can just take your house away? Someone can take your car away, right? Are you truly secure in America or any Western nation as it is? Well, which brings me to my next video. Andrew Tate states that fuck you money isn't enough. You're not entirely protected. If you piss off the wrong people, all your assets and your resources will be taken away from you. So let's take a look at that video.
What would you say to be financially, like I asked
What is
Damon
fuck
Jo-
you money? What's fuck you
Yeah,
money?
I asked Damon John that question. What do you need in the bank to say it's fuck you money?
You need a lot more than money to say fuck you money. That's the whole thing about it, right? Because fuck you money in and of itself isn't a real concept. The whole idea of fuck you money doesn't work if you're still being paid by the matrix, if you're still stuck inside of a contract and your words are controlled. There's a lot of people with a lot of money who can't say what they think. A lot of people with a lot of money who still have to take the injection they're told to take. A lot of people with a lot of money who can't stand up and say, no, that's wrong, I don't agree with this, because they're going to lose contracts, sponsorships, etc. So to say fuck you money, I mean, you have to have enough money to not ever work again, depending on how you earn money. Because I'm completely and utterly self-sufficient, I can't be canceled. So I think my fuck you money number is actually going to be lower than others because my money will never stop. But I don't know. I mean, it's
That
difficult.
made no sense.
You don't think so?
Because by definition, fuck you money would be you can say whatever you want, and if you get fired or you have contracts, it doesn't matter because you're sitting on a pile of like.
Well, then it's a very difficult question to answer because it depends on your lifestyle, depends how you like to spend money, blah blah blah. I think
So
once
what's
you
your
have
number?
Once you have 50M, then there's nothing else to buy. I mean, what are you gonna buy? Like 50M is plenty of money. You could buy a stupid boat if you really wanted one, but you could also charter one. I mean, besides that, there's literally nothing to buy with that kind of money. I think once you're above 20M, life's around the same. Personally, I think that once you get above 20M, you're just doing it for sport. So I think that's around fuck you money. But if I only had 20 million, I'd still be concerned about having an income of some sorts. And if my income was dependent on me agreeing with certain paradigms that the social system, the matrix tries to propagate, then it would be different, right? So it depends. It all depends on the individual. That's why I would say fuck you money. It's around 20.
Okay, that's fair. So
Good number.
the things you're doing now, you've said, what do you put out? What is you said hundreds of millions of dollars you're worth.
Okay, so I'm just gonna just talk about exactly what he just said real quick. So before we continue on, so basically to kind of summarize what he's saying is that Tate is saying that fuck you money isn't enough, right? So the level of wealth, so his perspective of fuck you money is that the level of wealth that gives you true freedom is to tell anyone, especially governments or the matrix, the system, to fuck off without any repercussions. That's his perspective of fuck you money. So now you could say that maybe this version of fuck you money is a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more paranoid. But yeah, so but he argues that raw cash or high net worth isn't enough by itself, right? So that's basically what he's trying to get here. That's basically what he's trying to state here. So, and I understand. I think there's definitely some truth to this, but let's just continue on with the video, and then I'll give you a little bit of more of my initial thoughts here. So,
300, 350.
Okay.
You money. I'm sitting out here in Romania inside of a house with 20 armed guards outside with a tower and AR-15s, and I've got 10 passports and 55 bank accounts, and that's what you need to have fuck you money. You can't just sit in America with one.
That sounds bad.
That sounds like you're like on the run.
Yeah. No,
that
but it's
sounds
not
like
being
you're
on
in
the
the
run.
terminal.
It's not about being on the run. To sit in America and have $20 million with one passport, sitting in America thinking you have fuck you money. No, you don't. You say the wrong thing, you piss the government off. They're going to come in your house. They're going to fucking take the house you own. They're going to lock you up. You ain't got fuck you money for nothing. This whole thing's the whole paradigm's a lie. The government's the biggest mafia in the world. If you can't tell them to fuck off, you can't tell anyone to fuck off. So the whole idea of fuck you money, it's all skewed anyway. Like you have to be above the law in many different ways to truly have fuck you money. And you're not going to do that under one jurisdiction.
Do you think that you're able to be above the law where you live?
It's not about being above the law. It's about being above the law. But the easiest way to become above the law is to be under lots of different jurisdictions. If you have 10 different passports, it's much harder to constrain you. During COVID, Americans, English people, whatever, were all stuck in their houses because they couldn't fly because of X rule. Well, if you have 10 passports, well, then you're not American on that day. I'd turn up to countries and they say you're not allowed because you're English. And I say, okay, well then I'm Estonian. Estonians are allowed. Okay, I'm Romanian. Romanians are allowed in. Same guy, different passport. You have to have multiple passports. You have to be on multiple grids. The idea of living off grid is complete fallacy. You can't do that. You have to be on as many grids as possible. This is what you talk about fuck you money. The people with fuck you money don't even own anything. They own a share of an entity which owns things they can borrow. They have unlimited citizenships and passports. They have money out in the metaverse, in the sky, hidden all around the world. Fuck you money isn't about having money in your bank account in your name. If you still do that, you can't say fuck you to anybody.
I would disagree on some of that. I think there could be another side that would argue the fuck you money is they have so much, but they don't have 20 armed guards, and they can do everything you just said because they're viewed not as a threat to the government, or they don't need the passports because they can like I'm guessing there's plenty of celebrities who are viewed as friendlies and don't have the setup that you have, but can still travel as freely, COVID, not COVID, whatever, which to me would be above the fuck you that you just described, because you can do everything without switching it.
Because, and I am a fan of you, Dave, and I like the things you say, by the way, but just you to understand that the paradigms that we view the world in are completely and utterly different, because you still believe in the idea of a law-abiding citizen. You believe that if you're a law-abiding citizen, the government's never going to come for you and they're never going to hurt you because you stick to the rules. And if you have not learned anything in the last 3 years of COVID, that the rules can be turned and used against you at any moment to lock you in your fucking house without reason, where they can come along and become a communist country at the drop of a hat and literally restrict your very movement, and you to sit there and say that I trust these people absolutely and completely with my freedom and control over my life is asinine. Because
by the way, I don't believe what you just. I don't. A lot of respects trust the government, all that stuff. Nobody has. I feel like so I don't agree with what you're saying, but I do feel like there's people, not me, in position of power who have manipulated the government for their benefit and
completely
right. So I guess they're just two different things. They're the ones who run the government.
No, but my point is the absolute, when you talk about fuck you money, to me, the idea of fuck you money is they told me to stay in my house because of X. I decided not to. I've gone outside. The police are now here. And I told them, fuck off, fuck you. That's fuck you money. And that takes more than just money. That's my point. My point is that listen, a broke boy can tell anyone to fuck off. Like the average guy can tell the average guy to fuck off all day long. If we're not talking about telling the government to get fucked, then who are we talking about?
Right. But take an example like the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, right? He's rich. He's the governor of California. They had the strictest lockdowns they had. And then he waltzed out to like Napa and had lunch and dinner at a fancy restaurant, no mask. But that's almost a flaunting fuck you. It's like, I'll tell you the rules, but I don't have to play by them.
I mean, he shut off my electricity. He shut off my electricity. We threw a party at our house. He turned off our electricity and everything.
That is exactly my point. These are the people who are in charge, and this is my point. So when you said earlier, what's fuck you money? And I said money is the easy part of the equation. My rebuttal to that is that if you only have an American passport and you are governed by people like the man you just described, and the only government which will allow you to reside in that country permanently is the United States. Any other government, any other country is going to tell you, no, you have to go home after X amount of time. You can't tell anybody anything. You are a peon you're a slave inside of the matrix still. People may look at me and say, why does he live in an obscure Eastern European country with his own private army? Why does he need so many citizenships, etc.? Because I can get on my private jet and disappear. And anyone with money who has not put that kind of plan in place, I don't think can really truly tell anyone to fuck off. Because they will send someone to your house and they will drag you out in fucking handcuffs.
Right.
That's the end.
I guess the only semantics I'm saying is I think there are people who, like, almost on top of the government are using that as, like, their vehicle, and like the ones that you're.
So, okay. So let's get into this. So I let that play for a little while so you can get a gist of it. So let's get to the nitty gritty of what Tate is saying here. So just making me laugh because obviously everyone here is just playing dumb and acting like they don't know what the hell he's talking about. But that's a whole different discussion of itself. So but yeah. Anyway, so what Tate is basically saying here is that fuck you money isn't just financial. Okay, so it's about. So when he says a rich American with one passport and all assets in the U.S. can still be controlled and ruined by the government, well, that isn't fuck you money, right? So Tate tries to stay true to independence, meaning that you can leave, relocate, operate outside of any single system rules. That's his perspective of fuck you money, right? Let me say that again. Andrew Tate's perspective on fuck you money is basically you can leave, relocate, operate outside of any single system rules, right? That's his perspective. The money is just part of the equation, like he mentioned. So that's why he talks about passports, right? He believes that Western governments have shown that they will use emergencies to impose control, right? So that's something that he mentioned here, so that's the reason why he thinks this way. So he believes it's like, I need money, I need multiple passports, right? I need assets, right? So money is just part of the equation, but I also need to know how to navigate through different nations, right? I need to have multiple passports and get on different grids. That's basically what he's trying to say here. So hopefully that makes sense. So let me play the video a little bit more longer before I show you a couple of other things, because I do like this conversation. It's just, it's hilarious, but it's really good too. It's very insightful. So, all right, let's get into it.
Disappearing from could disappear as well, but they're kind of laughing at everybody else. But some of it, I agree with what you're saying here. It's quite a trip.
Yeah, well, I've just tried very, very hard to escape the matrix. I think the whole point of having money is to escape the matrix. There's a lot of people with money whose money still it constricts them. It's very easy to get rich if you're going to be constricted by the money. If you try and make money in a way that you're no longer constricted, it's much more difficult. I have friends worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? But it's all in property in the United States. It's not liquid. It's hard to sell. It's fully, the tax man's all over it. The banks are all over it. They can't just disappear quickly. Like, they're still controlled. They're still constricted. They may be rich, but they're not free. They're not free in any regard.
Where'd you make all your money?
Because I'm outside of the matrix, Dave.
Where'd you make,
I'm in Zion. Have you not seen the movie?
Yeah,
I'm in Zion. I come in and out of the matrix on the never.
How'd you make your first million?
I had a company that had webcam girls talking to guys online.
All boils down to selling sex, one way or
Yep,
the other.
sex
There you go.
Sex sells.
There you go. All right. I'm sorry, Brie. I cut you off. Did you have a question?
Are you like a paranoid guy? Do you think that there are people after you? Like, why do you need to? Are you ever going to have to need to escape?
It's not about being paranoid, because firstly, everyone calls you paranoid until the day you're prepared. That's the first thing. The second thing is that nobody is after me, and I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I can fly to America right now and stay there forever if I so choose. It's just, I don't see why people are so comfortable to live with absolutely zero contingencies. It's ostrich, it's head in the sand. It'll be fine. And I think the last few years in Western countries, America wasn't even the worst. You look at Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc. If they've not woken you up to the tyranny which can be enforced upon you at random for basically no reason, and you don't think you need to do anything at all to prepare for a repeat of that, to me, that is ignorant.
All right, so I'm going to just stop it there. So I respect the paranoia, for sure. I respect the paranoia, because honestly, he's not entirely wrong. So he's not entirely wrong. So the first clip was more calm, grounded version of fuck you money, where Tate is more like, they're coming for you, right? But I would say both versions make the same point. True freedom is where money gives you option and power. So I do think the system actively fight against regular people reaching that level. I truly do. I truly do. Anytime someone finds a legit way to make big money fast, someone bigger steps in, makes it harder, and that's just the end of the story from there, right? So I'll definitely give you the two examples that I mentioned earlier in this video. So, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with these two incidents that did actually happen. So the first one actually we have is GameStop. So this happened in January 2021. To kind of summarize this, quickly as possible, regular people on Reddit, Wall Street Bets, saw a massive short interest and piled in. And they turned a dying retail stock into a rocket ship. And some folks went from a few thousand to millions overnight. It was the ultimate little guy versus the hedge funds moment. It was all over the news. Average Americans were finally winning the game of Wall Street that plays pretty much every day. So then what happened? Brokers like Robinhood, which is an app you can download on your Google Play Store or Apple Store, suddenly started restricting buying. And you can sell, but you couldn't buy. Okay, let me say that again. You could sell, but you couldn't buy more. So the excuse was clearing the house collateral requirements. Basically, big institutions behind the scenes cranked up the margin demands because the volatility, oh my God, was too high. So government regulators and Congress jumped in with the hearings, and U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission started investigating. The whole thing got shut down real fast. A lot of people see it as the system protecting the big hedge funds and making it harder for everyday investors to actually win big. So hopefully that makes sense. So it was like the government had to step in and hit the brakes so the average American couldn't keep climbing towards real financial independence. So definitely a bummer for sure. Let me just provide a second example real quick here. I have an article here. So this one is a pretty short article. Definitely check it out. Let me just go back to the GameStop one as well. Wikipedia page. Definitely take a look if you're interested. But so the second example is the Bitcoin and Ethereum mining with NVIDIA GPUs. A few years back, regular people realized they can take their gaming PCs or buy a few GPUs and mine crypto profitably from home. I used to do it myself as well. So it was a passive income on steroids, basically. And guys was turning electricity into serious cash. So what did NVIDIA do? They released driver updates, and a driver update called Light Hash Rate, LHR, and versions of their cards that literally cut the mining performance in half. They made the consumer GPUs way less effective for crypto on purpose, pushing miners to buy expensive dedicated mining hardware instead. It was a straight up update that designed to kill the loophole that let normal people maximize profits. So, do you see the pattern? So, do you see the pattern here, right? You see the pattern. Both times people found a real path to stack money and get closer to fuck you level of freedom. And boom, companies, the system intervene and made it harder. It's almost like you don't want the average person escaping the rat race. So that's why those two clips hit hard together. And The Gambler shows you a simple blueprint, and Tate shows you need layers of protection. But both assume that the system will let you get there. But these examples that I just gave you, the system will fight back. Anyway, but that's the end of the video. So what does mean? What does this all mean for us chasing fuck you money? It means you got to be smarter than the system. That's what it means. Don't put everything in one basket. Hopefully that makes sense. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. Definitely like, subscribe, leave a comment. Definitely I'm going to be pushing out more videos soon. If anything that interests you, if there's any video that you want me to make, let me know. I'll be happy to. And always question. Take care. See you next time.